It's exquisite entertainment, man. It's exquisite entertainment, damn. It's exquisite entertainment, man. It's exquisite. It's exquisite. And we ain't gonna stop till we reach the top. Gonna give it all we got, cause we know it's hot. People bored and they want some entertainment. We got podcast, music, and gaming. And best believe we got more down the pipeline. Times are hard, but I know that we will be fine. Top G's, always ready to shine. So bright that we make the haters blind. It's exquisite.
Yo. Welcome to Exquizit Entertainment. And if anyone wants to see the full video, make sure you go onto our channel of our new epic masterpiece.
It's really good, really good. I'm really proud of it. Really proud of it. I think we did a phenomenal job on that one, all the way around. Mastering, the magician of mastering right here. Beautifully done, beautifully done.
And the loosest genius of Holy Link.
Thank you very much. And I did the video editing and the performance. So it meant just all around great stuff. Go check it out. As Dave Chappelle would say, go check it out. Wish I had 3 microphones. Go check it out. Anyway, dude, we got a great show for y'all today on E to the Exquisite Entertainment podcast. Today we got a good show. I've wanted to do this one for a while after he told me about this guy, and a little bit of some positivity for the world out there. Let's come together and help each other. Let's go ahead, lead them into it, man. Tell them about it a little bit before we get into it.
Actually, the idea behind Exquisite Entertainment is actually we try and stay fundamentally positive on everything we do. I know we play games, and games are not generally too positive. The outcome's always positive. There's a lot of beating up, killing, and all this garbage, So even though I'm hating at the moment, but I like playing games, but I also know that gaming is, it's all about violence in it. So it's not really that positive. And then we did this podcast with this Bonnie Blue chick who also wasn't really positive. She was a bit like, I mean, actually, no, I'm gonna step back there. She's positive for some people. Some people are probably all right, with a girl like that. Some people are all right. Some people like sleeping with girls like this and stuff. So, but in general, it's not really positive for society. And now we got a guy who's very near to my dad, the late Jacque Fresco. He came with an idea. He was talking about it. He's gone now, but I hope he's actually got to live his dream in the afterlife. And that would be nice. It would be really something special. But anyway, he's been talking about an idea called the Venus Project since 1974. And it's amazing. We want to watch this. I don't want it to die out, man. I know he's gone, but I don't want his idea to die out. And I felt like as soon as he left, that his idea would die with him. And even the people that over at the Venus Project haven't really been keeping up with the old my flipping helmet. I hear some echo. It's annoying me. Yeah, they haven't really been keeping up with the whole idea. I want the idea to continue. So, man, I'm gonna try a video. We're gonna watch a video. 1974, man. 1974. That's almost 50 years ago, man. Really.
And you don't find it funny that after he died, the idea just kind of died out. You don't find it funny at all.
Yeah, well, it's always gonna be like that. People don't like it. People don't like the idea. A lot of people didn't agree with the idea. People don't want to hold on to a system that's broken. But in fact, we're gonna try and watch 2 videos. I think I found a second video that I would like to watch. The first video is a bit longer. This one might be a bit of a longer podcast. Hopefully, we're gonna try and keep it to around an hour, but it'll probably go on a little bit longer. All right, so Link doesn't know too much about this guy, so I was like, I need to show you this guy. This is pure positivity, if you ask me. And the way it was actually a solution to this chaotic world that we live in. Like, I don't know why we don't really strive to be in this world. It is what he dreamt up is actually the end result of our world. It's exactly what it will be because he wanted to do it in 1974 already. We're at 2025 now. Still hasn't been realized, So let's have a look at this 74. So it's quality. It's not 4K. We didn't have 4K back then or 8K. We didn't even have a high D. This is old. So our cameras here. Okay, I'm on an iPhone. That was Logic something, Logic Pro something. It's
just quality. Just so you know, your microphone is breaking up every now and again.
All right.
Now it sounds good.
I'm too loud, man. Too loud. Anyway, let's go ahead, man. And if you got anything to say, then stop and interject.
This is a new science, socio-cyberneering. And this is its inventor, the extraordinary Jacque Fresco.
First of all, his face.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He showed me like the first 10-15 minutes of this video like 3-4 weeks ago. That's how long we've been talking. I've been wanting to do this ever since. This guy's serious. This guy, he's like a grouch. I love him. I love him. I love old grouches, dude. But he has such a good heart, man. You get him.
You gotta understand it though. I understand why he's so serious, because the world is a piece of crap, and he's been trying to tell everybody. He's like, we're gonna run off the cliff, and no one seems to care, no one seems to notice. So, but he does look so serious. And like I said, excuse the quality again.
Fresco. He's my guest this weekend on News Weekend.
Oh my God, quality's terrible.
That's the way it was back then. That's what we dealt with.
My guest is an extraordinary Miamian, Dr. Jacque Fresco. I could go through all the things that Dr. Fresco has done. He's a social engineer, industrial engineer, designer, inventor, consultant, was a consultant for Rotorcraft Helicopter, director of Scientific Research Laboratories, Los Angeles, designed and copyrighted various items, ranging from drafting instruments to X-ray units. Has had works published in the Architectural Record, Popular Mechanics, Saturday Review, and has been a technical and psychological consultant to the motion picture industry, member of the Air Force Design Development Unit at Wright Field, developed the electrostatic anti-icing systems, designed prefabricated aluminum houses. What does it say in your driver's license?
Yeah. I'm about to say, try saying that 5 times fast.
Jacque, you
social engineer.
does it bug you that people, when they talk about Jacque Fresco in Miami, say that he's someone who's too far ahead of his time? His thinking is, we're not ready for advanced kind of thinking.
I hate that saying, too far ahead of his time. What does that mean? He's like, oh, the rest of the world is like, we can't keep up with him. He's too smart for us, so we're going to stay being dumb. Shouldn't we follow people who are too far ahead of the time? Shouldn't that be the person we should follow?
Oh, dude, you got to read between the lines. What he's really saying is your idea is not good for the shadow government. You want a lot of free stuff.
I imagine every creative person in every field encounters that sort of problem. No, it doesn't. I can't afford it. There's too many things that are important.
What is socio-cyberneering?
Socio-cyberneering is a new organization.
It's an old organization now. This is 50 years old, by the way.
And it represents the application of the most sophisticated forms of science and technology toward problem solving, so that we can reclaim the environment which we loused up over the years, and to build a way of life worthy of man, to humanize society, to break away from the artificiality, the regimentation that dominates our society today. Our society seems torn apart and pulled in many directions. Socio-cyberneering is an approach at the restructuring of society in humanistic terms.
Humanistic terms, yes.
Yes.
The times I've spoken to you, you're very science and technological oriented. You want categories and people, I remember classified in categories and certain people living here and certain...
I never wanted that.
No.
Let's say that we didn't read each other, or I did not communicate the ideas. In essence, to me, all of the marvels of science and technology, all of the electronics and mechanical wonders are just so many millions of tons of junk, unless it enhances the lives of men.
Can you pause for just a second?
He's right.
Because he was talking about technology and stuff. And you would think that today, with all this social media and how connected we really are, that we'd be getting better, but we're not. And I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. It seems like we're getting more split up now than ever before, which is really weird. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, I think we are getting better.
Really?
But the biggest problem is social media has divided us more than anything, or at least it's giving you a chance to make a team. So everyone's like, I'm on this team, I'm on this team, I'm on the feminism team, I'm on the all men team, the MGTOW team, I'm on the blue belt team, I'm on the red belt team, I'm on the black team, I'm on the white team. That's all this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's split up everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
You just made my point valid. Thank you. So I'm not.
However, technology-wise, it's got better because maybe we used to have a camera. We used to have a.
Oh, I'm not saying that no. They're like technology wise, we are, dude. This is amazing what we got. Seriously, we could talk. The fact that we could talk on a, no one would believe this 50 years ago that we could talk on a little square device all the way to someone up in Japan right now. I mean, it's not. We're not too far gone from holograms. They already got them now. It's just getting it out here to the public. So
Yeah. Actually, so this is the first hologram PC coming out, and it's just glass, like I always predicted years ago. But obviously, everyone knew it was going to be that. There's a PC that you open up, it's just a glass screen, everything's on there. I knew that was coming, man. And it's here, dude. It's here. Okay.
The reason we emphasize machines and technology is to free man to go to art centers, music centers, cultural centers, and to find the meaning of their own existence and lives.
How much can machines do? Can they run the things that necessary to run?
Well, Mr. King, if we can launch a rocket off the Earth while it's turning, find a place on the moon, land it automatically, pick up samples of the soil, bring the ship back without humans, I think the Russians have done this, bring the ship back to the Earth, surely we can handle airliners or anything else with redundancy.
The problem, though, is a political structure is...
That's what I never understand. You know, when we're talking about fuel, we can't invent a car that runs without fossil fuels, and now we're going to use electricity. So, and I think I was like, hold on a minute, you can send a rocket to the moon and back hundreds of thousands of kilometers away. But I can't drive a car for more than 60 kilometers, dude. 600 kilometers. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This guy's making nothing but mad points, and that's, man, dude. I'm telling you.
But the thing is that we still buy into it, that we listen to whoever tells us, whether it's the government or whoever, who tells us, no, we can't do anything more than this. No, it's not possible. The technology is not there. Of course it's there. You send the rocket to the moon.
Bro, it's not even about that. It's like, dude, it's not even that. People are gullible sheep right now, and a lot of people, not even everyone, because most people, excuse me, sorry, I'm drinking a little bit of tea. It seems to be giving me a burp. So apologies. It seems that people are already, they're hip to it, man. The government isn't your friend. Yeah. If you're still believing that, you are really living under a rock. People have woken up to this, and as far as like we already know that we should have a lot more things, but the government has everyone controlled. It's like, who's gonna go against them right now? They're making you feel like they have more power than we do, and that's just not the case. There's more of us than them, but they get you with the idea of we have the army, we have the soldiers, we control all this stuff. So that's how they keep everybody in line, you know. But seriously, come on. We could be driving on water. Anyone, we were talking about this the other day. Anyone who comes up with these inventions, like they die. Anything that's said, that if you can make it free for people, you ain't gonna live very long. So,
how do you start changing a society this much, which has really no political system?
No, it has no political system. It is not affiliated with any political party. It is neither communist, fascist, nor socialist, nor democratic. Socio-cyberneering is a sort of a quantum jump, a severe departure in man's way of thinking.
How do you make a severe departure with millions of people?
With millions of people, well, I think you pretty much understand that most of the development we have in our society today, the technology, the airplane, TV, radio, modern production technology, is really done by very few people. I would say several hundred people comprise the modern technological civilization. But you don't need millions of technicians and millions of scientists. How many people that you know of today sit in their home and play their phonograph and radio and TV have any idea how this works? No, it's just happening around them.
I don't have any idea.
And they're falling behind. What is happening to man is that his technological society, the newer value systems that dominate our times, that are pressing onward, are just leaving behind hundreds of thousands of people that cannot make the transition.
And that's the biggest issue. That's the biggest issue. Like I say, what's happened is we have this smart technology trying to be understood by majority of people who are not smart. That's our biggest problem in society today. The majority of people are dumb. Sorry to put it like this.
No, you're right. You're right. Everyone, sheep.
Yeah, and then when you go try to tell them, like, look, we don't need a car. We could have like I think it's called car sharing. We could all just rent cars. Not even rent cars, just put cars everywhere, keys would be on top of the cars. Imagine having a site where you just really went to a car and the key was on top of it. You just have to take it to use it where it needs to go. And then you leave the car there, and then somebody else takes it. Perfect. Don't have to worry about nothing. No insurance, no nothing.
Shut up, Alstallio. You're
yeah.
talking about free stuff here.
sorry.
They're
In other
gonna
words,
they're gonna
people
cut our
can't
stuff
change
short.
Can be found in the Amazon jungle today, the headhunters.
Yeah.
And we've got to change. I think the book Future Shock,
I
or
was
the
gonna
book
ask
I've
you
worked on, Looking Forward, Future Shock points out that there are a lot of things going to happen, whether you like it or not, that the future cannot be stopped by anyone. It is a continuous progression.
But there are always going to be large groups of people going to have trouble handling it.
Yes,
Change.
this is true.
Look at the change of someone
We agree.
60 years old has seen unbelievable change. In a
I believe
lifetime.
they can change quickly if the information is made available to them. In other words, to present socio-cyberneering in one shot is extremely difficult. I believe that people should not be divided. The youngsters, the adolescents, and finally the mature young adults, and then the older folks are all divided people. When you get to be 65, you don't want to travel on an ocean liner with old folks. How come we put up these buildings for the old folks? We think that people ought to live wherever the hell they want to live. That cities must be designed so we have an integrated, intelligent society. Einstein, when he was 65, 70 years old, he would talk to youngsters. He kept reading. He kept up with ideas. Why must societies be divided into different groups?
Control, my man.
You're as
Control.
young as your life permits you to be, as your exposure, as your ideas.
All right, let's, with pictures, explore the thinking of Jacque Fresco and the society he'd like to see, socio-cyberneering.
This is
Now, we'll
amazing.
start with
Pay
this,
attention, folks.
And you tell me.
I'll try to point it out.
Yeah, you can point right at it.
All of the new cities will be a university, in essence. The center of the city, the nucleus, will house an electronic computer, which only controls the weather, water purification, the atmospheric conditions, that is, it controls air contamination systems. The computers do not, I say it again, do
Pause it
not
for 1
control
second.
people.
Now, he's talking about controlling the weather. For anyone who still thinks that that's not a reality, go check up HAARP. HAARP. Continue, please.
They maintain safety, they oversee the environment, maintain ecological balance between animal life and plant life. All the machines do is control the physical entities that comprise the environment. The center of the city is a university that covers all subjects related to man. It is not a commercial university. It is not based on there's no courses that are used to exploit or abuse any other human being. All business courses will be phased out. All repetitious jobs will be phased out. We feel that machines ought to do the filthy or the repetitious or the boring jobs.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not. Humans should still do that because humans are not worth it. That's what they're telling us. Our masters, our leaders, they're telling us that we're not worth this stuff, and we should be doing the filthy, disgusting jobs and going and doing sewage and all that stuff. When you clearly can build robots and a functioning system that does it automatic.
Agreed.
That man has to be free to pursue the higher things, the higher possibilities of man. In other words, if this is the medical unit, this little branch, and if you work in this center, you may live in the garden cities that surround the center. You don't have to. You can if you will. Each of the garden cities contain lakes, recreation areas, and between cities, we let everything go back to nature.
Will computers be able to control the weather?
This is a relatively easy project to manage.
Easy to control?
Yes.
You could control the weather?
I can go into that with you in a little while.
All right.
Can I finish?
He
that?
sounds very.
On the outer rim
Oh,
of the
yeah,
city, we
yeah.
have the
You
agricultural
hear
belt.
Mr. King?
All of your
Push pause.
garbage.
Did you hear? Did you hear Mr.
Yeah.
King? He's like, really, really. All
But
right.
this was mainstream in the 70s, though. This was more conspiracy. Today it's mainstream.
Yeah, it's not a conspiracy. You know, that's how far back that goes. This guy was on his point. This guy was on point with how to do this stuff, man. He knows. It was way back then. It's just what leaked out to us and what we found out when we found out.
I think it was actually
because that guy who made the originally invented the harp, I don't know his name, so I don't want to, but the originally invented the whole weather machine was to bring rain to like countries that couldn't grow right crop and things like that. And then he mysteriously died, and the government wanted to use it for a weapon.
Imagine what they do with rain in the deserts in Africa, man. What it could do there. You know how much desert there is, dude. You could make that into a flourishing forest,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
You know, repair all the rainforests and that. Man, it'd be
Yep.
great.
The government got their hands on it. They killed the dude who invented it. Or, excuse me, I'm sorry again. He mysteriously died.
Is compressed and pumped, recycled out to the agricultural belt. There are no garbage trucks. There are no dump fields. We use everything. All waste is recycled. This is an ecological program.
All right, now this is what the total
Brilliant.
city.
The total city looks like this. There's circular conveyor belts that take you anywhere in the city in 3 minutes. The city population in this particular city is 15,000. We have larger cities designed up to 2 million. The cities are all immersed in beautiful gardens. There are no trees in a row. It is not a mechanical environment. It is essentially a city immersed in a second Garden of Eden, where there are lakes, recreation areas, art centers, music centers, cultural centers, and surrounding the city, we have the agricultural belt where we grow foods hydroponically. Between cities, we let everything go back to nature. The deer, the coyote, the entire ecological balance is maintained.
We grow foods how?
Hydroponically.
What's that?
Soilless agriculture in some instances, and in other instances, we use conventional agriculture, which we'll get onto in the drawings as we go through the subject.
All right. What, before we get to the other pictures, what jobs that we now know will not be present in this concept? Like
Most,
garbage men gone, right?
yes, all repetition. All people
Mailmen,
working
wouldn't
in
need
fact, no mailmen, no waitresses, no waiters, no cooks. There'll
When
be
you
no
go out
jobs.
to eat, how will you get your food?
Well, there are beautifully designed areas for eating in which you have all kinds of food. Japanese, French food, organic food, and the standards if you like it.
And how will it get to you?
The way the food gets to you, what we do is monitor the behavior of the cook. That is, we do a multi-channel tape on the best cooks that we know of.
You're
And
a
as they
wildcat,
prepare their food, we tape every move they make and how they handle the food and how they dice the carrots the way you like it. Then you dial 2736 and you get the kind of food you want, Chef Milani style or individualized.
It's
You
gonna
can even
happen,
tape
folks.
your own cooking.
I remember 5 years ago I used to laugh at you, and now all this is very believable. All right, onward.
I figure 50 years ago when you go to Japan and stuff, you got restaurants that have food going through machines to you, all
Yeah.
being prepared by machines.
Yeah, they have cooks now that are machines, bro. They have robot cooks right now.
Yeah. So, like I said, we are going to get there, and also this the way we design the world at the moment. Like obviously in Germany, America has a better system, I would say, because they have it in the block format. Like they got the idea from Holland back in the day. They also have the block format in some parts. But we in Europe, we were like all our roads are everywhere. They're just like building houses around roads. And everything's just hard to get to. If we would have just used the cylindrical or the circular format, like here, circular, one road to the next circular, one road, circular, would have been perfect, man. You just have one maglev train that goes through it. Perfect.
What do we have here?
Areas like India, where you have high population densities, or areas like China, we just can't afford to go on and make an individual house for every human being.
Yeah.
We just don't have that kind of energy. Our population has already surpassed the point of no return. We have to unify our architecture, not that I like it, but we're trapped. We have to unify it and then make art centers, music centers, and gardens between the cities. In India, this would only extend 6 miles, and then you'd have countryside, lakes, and hiking area for most people. But if you try to spread your cities out, as we're doing, you're going to louse up the entire area.
Are you betting that people will not declare war on each other so that you can get at building all of this?
Well, we don't have much choice. We're going to destroy each other, or we're going to make it.
Now, this
He's right about that.
Yep.
We are going to destroy each other.
Or-
That's what we've talking. We've taken that path. We're not trying to make it better. We've taken the to destroy each other. If you look at Ukraine and Russia, Gaza, Palestine, they were talking about the Russian conflict spill over into Europe, then we'll be involved. America's involved. Dude, we've chosen death 50 years later.
This looks like some sort of submerged stadium with something flying
In an
away.
area like Panicam Park, we might build circular cities in the sea, where the water's about 30, 35 feet deep. Most of the apartment houses will open out into the sea. You can observe marine life and fish swimming by. There'll be no zoos, no seaquariums. Everything will be observed in natural conditions. There will be boating, scuba diving, recreation, and universities built in the sea. Socio-cyberneering encompasses the entire social spectrum.
These drawings all made by you?
Yes.
Isn't that phenomenal, really? You go to the sea to see animals. Or you go to an aquarium to see fish that are in the sea.
It really doesn't sound that it makes sense, you know.
Or
It's
you go,
just-
you go to the zoo to see animals that are in the forest. Okay,
But
maybe
my-
not in the forest you are, but
but I'm just saying it makes sense, and the animals are in their rightful habitat,
yeah.
not like SeaWorld and stuff where they're torturing the animals and things. They're actually in their rightful habitat.
Actually, I would argue against that. I would say that the animals are probably looked after better in a place like SeaWorld. It's not where they belong. No?
Nope. Go do your research. I thought so too. I thought these animals are happy. They're doing all these tricks and stuff like that. They must be happy. When you do your research, actually, it's not so black and white, my friend. I know it's sad. It's real sad. But I like his
This
idea.
might
I was just saying I like his idea. I love his ideas.
represent an individual house. Most of the homes will be individually contoured. If you're an artist, you'll live in the kind of house that is most suitable to your areas of interest. If you're a technician, a musician, the house will be designed for your needs. Most of the houses will be self-generative. That is, the heat of the sun falls upon your roof and lowers the temperature on the inside of the house. The sunlight is scattered on the inner walls, in which you have a phosphor coating, and the room glows all evening with a soft glow without any electricity, without any power waste. All of the pavement in the area is black. Under the pavement are heating coils, that is, built-in PVC tubing or wiring,
Easy.
or conveyor tubing for water. As the sun beats down on the pavement, we get all the hot water we need without burning any fuel, conserving energy all over the world at a much lower cost.
Can you pause it?
Who's,
Can you pause for a
who's gonna
second? Isn't this sickening? If you're paying attention to this, isn't this sickening? Doesn't it just sicken you? This is how old? 1974. This is how, believe me, we have the technology today. If you think we don't, you're retarded.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything we need, especially for his vision, it's all there now. It's all available. All available.
Even more stuff now than ever.
Yeah.
Even more.
He even said if you build a house, like you just said, you know, when you have hurricanes in places like Miami, where they have like hurricanes and like in what's this, Haiti, in places like this where they have real bad weather and tornadoes and all this stuff come. He said if you build a house circular, the tornado would just go straight over it. It would never take it up. You would have problem lifting it. The way we build houses is not good to structurally for the weather. You have to build houses according to what type of weather you have, like in Japan, where you have these buildings on like springs, so it shakes with.
Yep, with the earthquakes. And it works every time. I mean, unless it's it has to be a devastating earthquake like the one I was at that big one when I was up in Japan. I was there for that big one. But let me tell you, it takes a lot to bring down these houses. I mean, they're pretty sound. Like people usually, like when I was living up there, I was there for about 4 years. So it was a natural occurrence to have earthquakes. People would just sit there. I felt bad for Mother Earth because people just like it's okay, man. It'll be done in a minute. And then it was done. And that's the way that dude, it has to be a real big one to even do any damage.
It was like go for that fake shake and then like this. It stops like, okay, let's go get lunch.
Yeah. Dude, you think it's a joke? They're getting lunch while it's shaking. Everyone's all right. It's just okay. It is.
Oh wait, let me start this again.
pay for all this?
Where's the money coming from? If you took all of the gold and all of the wealth of this country, all of the certificates of debt and all of the land ownership, all of the diamonds and rings, and dumped it off the coast of Japan, as long as you didn't touch the American way of thinking, our technology, and our resources, we would not be impoverished at all. America's wealth is not its gold, is not its banking institutions. These are false institutions.
Yes.
That the entire money-structured and materialistic-oriented society is a false society.
Yep.
10 or 15 years from now, our society will go down in history as the lowest development in man. We have the brains, the know-how, the technology, and the feasibility to build an entirely new civilization.
You believe that we teach competition, that it's not bred into someone?
Competition is dangerous, socially offensive, considered right and normal, because you are brought up to that value system.
Yeah.
What kind of competition did Jesus have? What kind of competition is there
Love
in
you,
your
man.
body? Suppose your brain said, I'm the most important organ, and the liver said, I am, and I want to go a free enterprise system. You'd rot away in a month if every organ of your body went out for itself.
What's this?
That is so true. If your body went against itself, let's say your eyes went against your mouth, or your heart went against your liver, dude, you'd be like,
everything works in sync.
yeah, everything has to, and that's how we're supposed to live. But we're the only ones who go against our own home. Earth is our home, and we're the only ones to go against it. Not all of us, obviously, in the West, more than like, let's say, like in Africa or some other places.
Yeah.
But we're so ungrateful, man, and we're gonna get punished for it.
We are. I always said that. One second. I always said that everyone thinks that we're the most dangerous thing on this planet. Everyone thinks that, oh, humans, this world war, these bombs dropping. I'm gonna tell you, man, the creator, God of all things, he was very smart. He made a nice little button for this world, and it's happened before. Whether you believe in Atlantis or not, it once existed. When people start getting a little over their head and start abusing things, trust me, the world will react. When we start dropping bombs off in this world and start making this World War III happen, I guarantee you the earthquakes are going to start happening. Earthquakes are going to happen. Tsunamis are happening. Tornadoes are going to happen on a scale we have never seen before, and it is going to straight up destroy us. So enjoy that. Have that for you sleeping at night. For everyone thinking that we're the tough one. No, we're not that badass. I'll tell you who badass. Mother Earth is badass.
Live in homes of a different design. There will be a wide range of what you call individuality. The city is built to bring out what you call individuality, creativity, thinking, development, to question all things and challenge all ideas. The city is not utopian. It is an open city to develop all ideas, to change our concepts when they need to be changed.
And we have a three-phase picture.
Architecture will run the gamut, that all the buildings will be earthquake-proof, fire-proof, termite-proof, and shock-resistant, in that they will rest on a particularly designed sand bay so that no direct shock can be transferred to the architecture. There are no fire departments because nothing in the architecture can burn. There are no television sets, radios, tape recorders, or record players. All of that is done by the central computer system, in which all of the world's music is housed in a central computer. Oh. You don't want records, tape recorders, all this junk that requires continuous maintenance. All you want is the music you like. You dial it and you get the music. You don't need.
And we're there now. MP3s.
To pick up records or store them. You live in an insane culture where we duplicate things. It's like having a television station in every home or every apartment building. All you want is the music or the programs.
But you see, stop. You see, but this is the thing. He was making it free for everyone. These people took his ideas. They're taking his ideas and they're making money off of it.
The thing is, like I would happily, in a society like this, I would happily provide or make free music for people if I knew that it was for everybody.
Everyone's free.
You know? That would be great, man. But I think there's a lot of people like, no, it's my music, man. Remember when we were younger and people would be like, no, I'm not going to show people my song or anything because people might steal it, or my ideas would steal it.
Yeah, but you have to be that way here, man, because the people will steal it. Yeah. But in this type of your world, dude, it's not, or this type of how would you call it, plan, everyone's helping everyone. Everyone is, dude. It's everything's free. There is no need for competition.
Mm.
That's what he's trying to explain here, man. It's really a utopia, man.
Wow.
It's sad.
They don't control you. They provide you with the music.
But you wouldn't need a
and the
set in the
program.
house to get the program.
No. All you need is an image screen.
Sad
An
that we
image
ain't
screen.
got
An
it.
image screen, a flat screen built in on the wall. You don't have a set sticking out. You don't have tape recorders. All you have is the music you like.
I think they did steal his ideas.
That's what I'm saying. They just stole his ideas. I think they killed the dude. You say he was old. He died. Okay, he could have lived to be 100 or something. I don't know, man.
Nah, man. Anyone who dies at 90, let's say how old was he? 90.
Perfect guy to take out.
No,
Everyone will think he.
Dude, it was 101.
Perfect guy, yeah. He could have lived to be 105.
Nah, man.
All right, I'm being stuck. I'm being a little naive right now. I'm admitting I didn't know he was that old. He looks good for being,
No, he's 101 here. He's 101 when he died, dude. No, I think he survived quite well, man.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't know he was that old. I thought he was. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Apologies. I'm wrong. But still, we know that if he was younger, they would have killed him off. They just said, we'll wait. He's almost there. We'll take his ideas. He's got some good stuff that we'll take and make money off of it. That's exactly what they did.
Rest in peace, man. Jacque Fresco's a legend, man. I wish he was still here, man. That was a sad
rest
day.
in peace, man. Many blessings to you up there, man. I'm sorry for what you're seeing right now, man. Really.
We're gonna get your message out at least, man, and try and if we ever get enough money or loot, man, to be able to get this project going, man, we'll be doing it.
Did you read Ira Levin's This Perfect Day?
No, I did not.
Well, he had a society like this in which the computers also control the human beings.
Well, this I'm against.
And he made it so that you felt a little ill, you pressed the button, and
I
you
don't
got
like that. That's too much like 1984.
All of yours is using.
This is humanistic. All our cities will be separated by a half-mile of landscape areas and return to the natural ecological balance. The lakes, the hills, the valleys, the animal life between cities will go back to nature.
How will we travel?
Cities are connected from core to core by either cyclic elevators or linear transportation systems. There are no freeways and no automobiles. Therefore, no automobile accidents. No automobile accidents because they don't exist. We have continuous transportation. You don't need to wait for a bus. We have continuous moving conveyors.
You know, most people hear that.
Nice.
No automobiles. As automobiles are car for people who don't really understand. Soon people hear this. I'm gonna go with a no car. No car. I'm gonna leave with my car. What's a car, dude? It sits outside literally 95% of your life. Do nothing. You drive to work, you can't even go fast anyway. So it's getting slower and slower. The roads like used to be 50, it was 40, it was 30, now it's 20. You go 20 miles an hour. Soon you'll be able to go 10. Soon you'll be walking past that.
Yeah, but it's true. And honestly, man, what does it do? It just poisons the world. I mean, honestly, you got like some Teslas coming out right now, but dude,
Also poisonous, dude.
Yeah, this guy right here, dude, on point, man, on point with everything he's saying. This is just crazy, man.
And now we can do maglev trains or monorails, you know, where they just use mineral, like they use magnetic energy, magnetic energy to push it along. Dude, best system, man.
Now, when I get back to money, and you said that it's unimportant, to start this, who will build it? Who's going to build the first?
It's a membership organization, and the membership organization is like the members pay about $10 a year, and they get the booklet and the information. They go to meetings, but the funds actually come from donations from organizations and various agencies of the federal government and private foundations to build the first city, to solve the transportation systems, to work out a totally different environment. And after the first city is built, we expect a rapid growth in the membership. It is difficult for people to immediately understand socio-cyberneering because it is not like anything else that you're familiar with.
Obviously, it requires a change of thinking. But you're not dull, Jacque. Okay.
For example, agriculture. You read of pests, you read of insecticides, you read of DDT, you read of constant spraying contaminating the earth. People get angry. They join environmentalist groups. They try to save our environment, but they come up with no specific ideas. Socio-cyberneering has a blueprint for all of the identified problems. For example, all our agriculture will be totally enclosed, either in plastic or glass buildings that can transmit ultraviolet light. Therefore, you have no insect invasion of plants.
Amazing.
We also have special ultrasonic generators that keep all insects away from plants. If certain insects, particularly selected insects that are detrimental to plants, are hit with ultrasonic, cavitation is produced and their bodies rupture, fall to the soil and enrich the soil, and are not washed into our rivers and do not contaminate. Therefore, an agriculture that's enclosed, you're not subject to frost, you're not subject to freeze or weather. In other words, these nuclear plants out here that dump their hot water into the bay, we use that hot water in the winter to enhance the plant life, to grow bananas in Georgia, in North Carolina, by using the hot water from nuclear plants. What do we do with the radioactive waste? We encase it in piping and treat sewage water with the radiation. Not radioactive powder, but the radiation material is sealed. And through a multiplicity of shields, we only use the radiation to clean the waters emitted by hospitals and all other sources of contamination.
You keep showing this figure, this thing flying around the sky, so you better tell me what that is.
Oh, this is one of the methods of conserving our land area. You read of erosion. Our beaches are being eroded. Land is being eroded. By designing and building underwater dams, which is entirely feasible within our time, we can modify the ocean current. We can modify the Japanese stream. We can build dams under the ocean and utilize the Japanese current, oxygenate the water, and do away with the red tide. The red tide, by the way, can be dealt with by oxygenation, by recirculating the water, by building dams under the water in the Gulf Stream to set up greater turbulence in the water, and this is feasible. If we don't do it, we will cease to be as a nation. We have the energy, the know-how, the raw materials. Socio-cyberneering is an organization that is probably the boldest organization ever conceived of.
What?
And we're undertaking the most ambitious project in the history of mankind.
What's this?
This represents a surveillance equipment aircraft to survey the areas and movement of the currents and to monitor Earth systems.
All right, Jacque.
This represents a variation of the circular scheme. Most of the cities are based on natural configurations, the atomic structure, basic designs in nature. The center of the city might be related to studies of the human organism. This center here may be studies of diseases of the eye, other systems, diseases of the nervous system. An all-out research project on enhancing the lives of men. There are no military programs or projects in socio-cyberneering.
There's no need for an army?
No need for an army.
Now, what if one people decides to attack another people?
We then invite, after the first city is built, we tend to go Socio-Cyberneering International, to invite the participation of all nations of the world into a system of monitoring the Earth and using the Earth to enhance the lives of men.
What about what if one group of people get together and attack another group of people?
We believe that is done due to scarcity, or that a society suffers from economic deprivation, lack of arable land area, or overpopulation.
Whereas you believe it would not occur?
It would not occur.
What is this wild-looking thing?
This is clean sources of power. By utilizing the natural heat of the Earth, that is volcanic energy, or the magma, or the molten lava under the Earth, of which there are approximately 500 potentials. If we tap a mountain in Hawaii called Mount Aloha, we can get enough power to electrify the world. We can get enough power from that volcano alone. We have 500 potential volcanoes we can harness. We can use that natural heat from the volcano. No smog, no smoke, no dirt, no gases, no fuels, no oil spills, and no more burning of fuels in any city to generate power. If Japan used Fujiyama, they don't need to burn oil. They don't need oil. All of that heat is sitting there. 20 million years of power right under the Earth's surface. In fact, you don't even need to use fusion power or nuclear power. And it's easy to tap, and it's clean and available. As soon as we make up our minds to put scientists, rather than on weapons, nerve gas, on harnessing the Earth power that is already here.
How are you going to get the
Well
president of
said,
Florida
Jack.
Power and Light or Shell Oil to give up that?
Socio-cyberneering
Mr.
does
Fresco.
not appeal to governments, to private enterprise. We're going to do this thing just as the automobile phased out the stagecoach, just as television stepped in and phased out the old vaudeville and the old motion pictures, that history and technology is respecters of no society, no individual opinions, but it moves on. And we've got to be prepared to face the future. Socio-cyberneering will tackle some of the most ambitious projects in the history of man. This represents the building of underwater dams within the Gulf Stream. This dam will collect, direct, and route the waters of the sea into a spillway that is centrifugally shaped so that fish and marine life are separated from the turbine blades. The Gulf Stream will generate power to oxygenate the waters, to eliminate the red tide, to pick up the amount of fish in the ocean, to monitor marine life, and build an ecological relationship between the total oceanographic world and the continents. Areas where we've gone in for strip mining and loused up the land by digging out the areas, shamefully pitting the surface of the United States, we feel we can build underground art cities, music centers, landscaped areas with gardens and lakes, and reclaim those areas.
Now this looks like a train station.
After the automobile is phased out, which we hope to do very rapidly, we hope to build a new transportation system and also phase out all forms of aircraft except surveillance. Aircraft, helicopters. We think aircraft are no longer necessary. In fact, the skies are so jammed and landing is so difficult, and the speeds and the shock wave are no longer worth working on. I know the people in the aircraft business do not understand this, nor do they feel this, because they feel that all institutions tend to perpetuate themselves. We hope to phase out the airplane by designing transportation units that can move up to 2,000 miles an hour, floating on a magnetic repulsive field or an air cushion. And in those huge trains of tomorrow, there'll be television, radio, amusement, art centers, classrooms, not a group of seats lined up as your trains are today, highly regimented society, whether you know it or not. This society will be different in its transportation means. If 40 or 50 people have to leave the train, we slow up to 100 miles an hour, lift off the passenger section, or slide it off and slide on a section with the passengers getting on. You don't have to stop the whole plane or the train. Today, when 3 people are getting off, you land the airplane and 3 or 4 people get off. In the future, we will just shove off those passengers getting off and that freight leaving.
That's so
How
cool.
will this go from, say, Miami to
That's
London?
sick, dude.
We then have an underwater project in which tunnels are suspended 125 feet beneath the surface of the sea. Therefore, you eliminate most of the ocean-going transportation systems. You're not subject to the weather or anything else. This is part of the linear acceleration train that can take you anywhere in the world in just a few hours, safely, without snow, rain, being lost at sea,
Are all
subject to the weather.
these things you're saying, Jacque, could they be built with what we know today, or are some of these things, are you guessing based on what we know today?
No. All of these things can be built with what we know today. It would take 10 years to change the surface of the earth, to rebuild the world into a second Garden of Eden. The choice lies with you. The stupidity of a nuclear arms race, the development of weapons, trying to solve your problems politically by electing this political party or that political party.
Yes.
That all politics is immersed in corruption. Let me say it again. Communism, socialism, fascism, the Democrats, the liberals, we want to absorb human beings, women's lib, all organizations that believe in a better life for man. There are no Negro problems or Polish problems or Jewish problems or Greek problems or women's problems. They're human problems. To commit socio-cyberneering,
thank you. I want to give you a hug, man.
Function. We are not concerned with the
Finally, someone gets what I'm saying, man. Where are you?
Control the population?
Population
Everyone,
control
my
dependent on education. We feel an educated population needs no control.
You wouldn't stop sex?
No, sir.
Of course he wouldn't stop sex. Why would you?
Some individuals may want to live in a way-out house. How far way out, how far out you want to live would be determined by your value system and your lifestyle.
Can you pause for just a second? I just got something I want to get off my chest. He is so right about everything he just said. Everyone is so, that's how they got it. They got so many people. Oh, black people got it worse than this people. White people got it worse than, no one does, man. You don't know how real, how good everyone's got it that they're complaining about that crap. Seriously, just shut up, man. Everyone shut up. Realize that the problem is the government and greed, man. That's the root of the problem. Man, that's agitating. This guy gets it, dude. Oh, I love this guy. I wish I met him, man.
It is not a 1984. It is not a brave new world, but is something brand new. We would like you to investigate socio-cyberneering.
I'm going to give the address out of people who'd like to know more about, the next one looks really weird.
Some people may want to live in a different kind of home. I myself am interested in world affairs, ecological changes. Therefore, the walls would have panoramic screens giving me the kind of information that I am interested in. Your home may be different, designed to fit your needs. The homes will be molded.
No one will pay the builder of the home. He will not receive money?
No.
Why will he build the home?
He doesn't build the home. The homes are built through systems engineering in which we can form a home every half hour by blowing the floor up out of the ground so that we have up out of the plastic unit which the floor is comprised of. We blow and shape the furniture and then spray the furniture. In other words, if you're going to be here, if the United States is going to be here for the next 20 years, you can't have a plumber install the toilet bowl and the sink and the shower in the same old hand tool fashion that was done 40 years ago. We've got to make a quantum jump. Mold maybe 15 different types of bathrooms. You pick out that which you like. The bathroom is self-cleaning, self-drying, and we install it in your architecture based upon your selection.
That's
beautiful.
true, man. But even that's true. It's like
Beautiful.
we're stuck in the twilight zone. We're really literally stuck in the past. A lot of us are still living on the ideas of the past, and it is time for us to do like I say, everyone needs to be super individual. I need to have a blue car. I need to have a red car. If you look at it, really, what they've been doing for years, they've probably been giving, like, if you look at a Lamborghini or Ferrari, you can have it like 4 colors, I think, like black, red, yellow, and
gold.
No, you can't have a gold one, man. I think that's, you have to do it yourself.
Color.
They literally,
Oh, I'm talking about the color.
they literally give you a couple of options, and there's your options. That's how it should be. Here's your options.
I was just saying that that's the colors that I thought you were talking about. Doesn't matter. But honestly, since you're on that with the technology thing, that was like when we were going to the martial arts thing the other day. I never saw this before. You showed me the little robot that was cutting grass.
Yeah.
Dude, we're there.
Yeah.
We could seriously be there. This is not far, dude.
The thing is,
He's not saying anything that doesn't make any sense.
To be honest with you, though, even that is like out of date. We should have a droid walking around cutting the grass for us, not a little robot. We should have a real droid at this point. 50 years later, this guy was talking about this stuff 50 years ago. There was the desire to get us to that point. It's been done. Oh man, and I'll tell you why, because they're all like this Larry King guy who's asking who's going to build it. Because what he's really saying is, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
What he's really saying is, I'm not going to do it.
That's what he's saying. I'm not going to build a house. You're going to give me free labor. But the thing is, if there was a promise of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I think everybody would do it. If someone came who was serious, and that's why I say everyone who's alive today is not serious. If someone was serious, Donald Trump or whoever, they would be looking at this guy saying, let's work towards this. I wouldn't even be like, let's make America great again. I'd be like, let's change the system in America, but it's actually great. Because let's be honest, America was never great for everybody. It was a good time for some people, but it wasn't great for everybody. This system will be great for everybody. This is the true definition of let's make it great again. Great now and future going forward.
I say let's make the world great. That should be this.
Yeah, this would have been it. This is it actually. But the problem is people are lazy. People always ask
greed. Nah, I'd say greed. Greed is the problem. Greed is the problem.
No, but listen,
this guy's not lazy. This guy has plenty of people that have been doing it, that are ready to build it, that are ready.
There was a lot of people that are like, I'm not building the house. Why should I do it for free?
They don't come in and live with that society. Live out in the outside. But that's another crazy thing. If you have people on the outside, they're not going to feel welcome in, And then what he's not taking into consideration is there's always going to be greedy people. What about the greedy people that are going to try and stop his whole plan?
But that's what it is. You can't. That's why he said. I think he didn't say it in this video, but he did say, "I can't do this now. I need a whole nation to be involved if a nation comes." Because he said, people, if like he said, if people are outside and looking in, they'll start throwing bombs over the wall.
Yes, that's what I was getting to. The jealousy, dude.
Jealousy, yeah.
Jealousy, dude.
The cause trouble where there is none. The cause trouble. That's humans. The cause trouble. If there's no trouble, the cause trouble. Oh, they got it too good. They got it too good. I always say to my wife, I'm always like, there's people who can like. I'm a big football fan, and there's one team that's been winning for years. They're called Manchester City. Most people know them. There's people who are complaining about their manager, even when they're winning. They're winning all the time. There's some people that are like, I don't want that guy in there, man. He's messing up our club. Yeah, but you're winning trophies all the time. You're winning. I don't care. I don't like it. He should get out. And what happens is that I don't care as long as it's fun. It doesn't matter if it's working all right. There's always going to be somebody who's got some crazy idea, maybe some sickness, I don't know. It was going to not be happy with the situation, always.
Yeah, because they're not making money. Once again, leading to greed. Go ahead. It's always going to lead to greed, man. Everything you're saying.
It will be so hard to change, you know, a lot of these things sound fascinating, but in order to accomplish any of this, you require, to me, a change of the human
value system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We feel that if enough human beings are exposed to socio-cyberneering through information, and they question things about human behavior, the new schools, I'd be happy to describe all things. We don't have enough time now to go into that. But it doesn't take very long for Americans to change. Americans have been conditioned in their kind of society to get a different kind of car next year, to buy a new television set or a tape recorder. We are radical as hell, but our political and social institutions have not changed. And this is where we are stagnating, because we always equate any new idea with communism or regimentation, because we've been brought up to fear that which is new. Yeah. And I think that Christ was a radical. He brought new ideas, but it took time, thousands of years, for people to really appreciate ideas.
They still haven't bought them.
Exactly.
Love this guy. Love this guy.
What looks like a giant foot is really a wind tunnel in a vertical position. We feel by building 6 of these in the Los Angeles area and the New York area and accelerating air down through this tunnel by means of turbines and electrostatic filters and a low temperature base, we can clean the air of the solids, particulate matter, gases, and all suspended particles within 1 year.
Amazing!
The air in the Los Angeles and New York area, and then remove these structures and build garden cities again. Let's not wait for nature to do it. We loused it up. We're going to have to clean it up.
Thank you.
The war program.
You know, people, before I show this last one, people, just so you know that
Jacque Fresco.
A lot of this is wondrous to you, and it is to me, of course. But Dr. Fresco is a respected social engineer, industrial designer, and inventor, PhD in human factors engineering.
Cheers to you, sir.
And has worked on many things from anti-icing systems to prefabricated aluminum houses, designed systems for noiseless and pollution-free aircraft, wrote the book Looking Forward. He has lectured at the Department of Sociology in Princeton on...
Please read that book. I've read that book, Looking Forward, from Jacque Fresco. He also wrote another book. I'll find the title out in a minute, but it's a bit more new than this. It's from 74.
Sociology of the Future. Guest at the College Editors Environmental Conference in Washington. Lectured at Queens College, New York, University of South Florida, University of California. Designed various items ranging from drafting instruments to X-ray units. And so, you know, don't just dismiss this. If he says it's possible, it's possible. What's this?
The next book was the best that money can't buy, Beyond Politics, Poverty, and War. Excellent. I've read both of the books. Excellent.
Well, in times to come, most of you are probably familiar with the giant units that are used to move the rockets onto their launching platform, tremendous tractor systems. In the distant future, perhaps the next 15 or 20 years, huge tractors may be built with a nuclear reactor built in that can fuse the earth into canals and transportation ways. We can shape the earth by nuclear energy without mixing concrete, without having trucks and human beings leveling the concrete. We can do this today at 20 miles an hour if we wanted to. Shape the earth into highways, waterways, flood control systems in a totally different, reorganized technology.
Love this guy, man. Love this guy.
Technicians working now in this present setup in the private industry concept. Why haven't we seen more things like this? If they are feasible, if for example,
Good grief,
the
King, what are you
everybody's
talking
working on a
about?
high-speed train, and you can't tell me that the Japanese wouldn't like to have the Seaboard Railroad wouldn't like to have a train that could get you to New York in 20 minutes, even for profit. Why don't they?
There, as far as I know, at present, there is really no integrated transportation system. Integrating a transportation system, you have to design, it's just like designing a heart of a human being, if God did it this way, and then he decided to put some lungs nearby, and then he built another structure to hold our arms. All of these are afterthoughts. What we have to do is design a city as a living system, as an organism, as a university, that all of the cities of the future will be university cities that grow, that continue to exchange ideas. The city will have a built-in transportation system, so there are no accidents and no unthought out areas of technology. Medicine, botany, agriculture, the total system, one planning system. Our cities have been designed a long time ago. The area like Miami, downtown Miami, they put in a couple of pots and a couple of trees and this kind of simulating an intelligent approach to an environment which costs thousands of dollars, and these little intrusions on Flagler Street only cause the buses and the fire engines and the emergency vehicles to become further tied up. There are no solutions. They're clumsy, academic approaches by people immersed in this kind of society, coming up with their cop-out solutions that have no relationship to the problems. You cannot be a conventional architect, a conventional engineer, work for the telephone company or any other of the old establishment and come up with an idea that is a radical innovation. The space program takes new thinking to save our country, to save our land, to save our environment, to save our youth, our stupidity, our conflict. We've got to reorganize our way of thinking and reconsider our social aims toward the brotherhood of man. We do that or we perish.
What do you think Frank Lloyd Wright would have thought of this?
I think that Frank Lloyd Wright was establishment. I think that his architecture was radical, but I think it was radical in a limited way. And we've got to get away from
I don't know who that
limited,
is.
I did this and I did that, and the self-centeredness that dominates our society today. It must be a privilege to serve members of society. Not that we want rewards or medals or honor for what we do, because it is just an honor to do it.
That's
if you
right.
don't work for that, then you miss the boat. You don't understand the teachings of the wisest men that ever lived.
In your society, there are no mayors of cities.
There are no mayors, there are no politicians, and you don't have to fill out any forms to go to the art center or music center, and you go to a university whether you can afford it or not.
If you want a suit of clothes, how do you get it?
Oh, most suits of clothing are designed by anatomists and physiologists to be comfortable. Most of your shoes will breathe as you walk. They will be very different than the shoes that dominate your society today. Most of your clothing will be organically designed, in that as you move your arms, it'll aerate and breathe, and most of your clothing will be washed by ultrasonics. No detergents, no washing machines, no centrifugal separators. We can knock all of the fluid off clothing today by vibration. We can knock fluids off clothing.
Absolutely.
In other words, if you could move a piece of fabric from position A to position B rapidly enough, the fluid will remain behind. Ultrasonically vibrating the fabric can remove the fluids, and you need not contaminate your waters. You don't have to use any of the systems today. Let me briefly say this. You have a bumper in front of your car, behind your car. But your society, your car's hit on the side also. You have safety belts and harnesses in your car. But that assumes that you're going to be hit by the rear or in front. If you're hit on the side, you go right through the side of the windshield. What good are these approaches? They are designed by men that are cerebral insufficients. You've got to design a society with a bumper all around the car, phase out human drivers, put electronic guidance systems in cars, or eliminate the automobile and design a holistic transportation system. We must put our mind to this as we do to put a man on the moon. We must put our mind to the social problem. We wish to get away from politics. We wish to get away from the old world method of solving problems. If you can barely understand what it is I'm trying to say in this short period of time, please investigate socio-cybernetics.
Are you saying that General Motors could build a safe car today, totally safe car, with the knowledge at hand?
Yes, if they're given that assignment. They're not given that assignment.
Well, because they're working on their own initiative to make more money.
They're all interested in look, if General Motors had to service their own cars, I can tell you for certain that they would have two levers that you turn down and pull out the engine. shove it in a service unit, and you don't, to change a $3 spring in a car or a $2 part, you got to do a $45 job on a small car just to pull the engine out. But if they had to surface the car, I can assure you that whole engine would slide out. You know, they put a race car wheel on with one turn? That's the way your wheels would go on. You'd have bumpers all around. You'd have no chromium, no ornament. The chromium would be in the engine where you have chrome steel, tougher engine. In other words, the automobile companies have actually they have contempt. Let me say this again. All manufacturers have contempt for you.
That's right.
I never thought about that one.
Absolutely.
Race cars. That was a good one of the race cars, dude. If you can see a race car, they change the tire, literally, finished. Finished. Look at our cars. We have force.
Because I'm telling you, dude, it's greed. Even when you talk about the clothes, we could have the clothes and all this stuff, man. Yeah, no, but not today because we're so conditioned that we need the newest type of clothes, the one that costs $100. Oh, you're fancy. This guy has got it, man. This guy's got it.
To sell you the toothpaste, the products that they sell you are deliberately designed to wear out, break down, so you have to continually service those things. You notice that your telephone is pretty reliable? Well, we here in America can think. We can design things that don't wear out and don't break down and don't require maintenance at all.
Yeah, the instrument, the phone, that stays.
You told me that,
If
Paul, for a
the
second, for just
automobile
a minute.
companies had to maintain their cars,
Because I remember you telling me, like, even the TVs and everything like that, way back when we first met, like years ago. You told me everything is made to break in a couple of years, so you have to rebuy a new one. Absolutely.
Well, it's actually written into law that they have to make it that only lasts for so many years. That's why they only give you a couple of years guarantee. That's it. I think the plan is it's after the guarantee runs out. So 3 years is the most you can expect a TV to work. If it works beyond that, then it's great. My fridge has a 10-year guarantee. That means my fridge should work for 10 years. And it will probably work for 10 years. So the building so it works for exactly 10 years. And after 10 years, it's like, you know now. Yeah. Well, phones don't make money for the phones. They make money for the calls. That's why they have to keep on working. The profit the profit is not at the unit, but it's at what the unit does. So it's placed in a different place. You know, car, they have to take wheels, they have to keep providing jobs for different people. Okay, how do we create a job? Okay, make the tires, we do parts, then they have to go to the tire guy to take the tires, the wheels, they got another guy to change out the fuel pump, another guy to change out the exhaust, and you have to create jobs that way. But it's a waste of time and resources.
Absolutely agree.
Technically, you should be able to use every tire on every car. All cars should be the same apart from the size. But if I've got a 17-inch alloy, you have to use that on every car. But for some reason, they've got all the different measurements. So you've got to buy this particular one. Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
it would be a
Oh,
forever
you mean the phone
unit.
company has to maintain the phone? That's why it's good.
That's why your units hold up.
I never thought of that.
I don't. Most
So a
of you
phone
have.
never,
I never thought of that either. That with the phones.
But the phone
Well,
itself.
it's the same for your TV sets, by the way.
You mean if RCA, if everybody had to maintain their own?
You bet. There ought to be automatic system which you pull out, shove in a replacement unit. If your engine breaks down, they pull out the engine, shove in a courtesy engine, and you take off.
Yeah.
Why hold up the whole car when you need a battery job? If you did that in the Army Air Force, you couldn't operate at all. Your society is really comprised of very stupid men. Let me say it again. All politicians, all lawyers, all businessmen will be phased out. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to be a revolution. You don't need
Even
it.
he
Our
clapped.
society cannot be maintained by this type of incompetency.
Yeah.
It was great, the free enterprise system, about 35 years ago. That was the last of its usefulness. Now
So that was when 1940s. That's when America was great last time, in the 1940s.
we've got to change our way of thinking or perish. Our system is dying. If Nixon remains in, it'll die in his lap. If a liberal group gets in, the society will fall. Our cities are going broke. We don't have the money nor the type of mentality required to save our society in politics or government. I am not your enemy. I am not trying to destroy things. I do not believe in revolution. I believe that ideas must be presented to American people. They have to make the decision.
Now, Dr. Fresco is in the local phone book, am I correct?
Yes.
Is that the number people would
Yes.
call the contact? It's Fresco, Dr. Jacque Fresco. And
Jacque.
we're going to do some more with you because you're You know what I'd like to do one day?
There's a hell
Maybe
of
we
a
could do
lot
a
on
special.
social
Yeah.
engineering. I want to
A
do one
special.
on human behavior.
Now,
which is
human
so
behavior. How about a human behaviorist? And how about some engineers? You know,
Kinda
what if I
great.
get a guy from
Love
General
it.
Motors,
Love
right? An engineer of a car.
Love it. Get me the biggest establishment people you can get hold of. I
Yeah.
love them. Bankers, ecologists, economists. I can't use the kind of language I'd like to use on TV. But I'd like to blow it up for you to understand it. Like the money system now, the whole idea of devaluation. Nobody knows what it's all about. They all think it's very complicated. Actually, it's very simple. I'll tell you what it is if I have the time in a nutshell. What's going on? If an island like Haiti had about several $100 million in assets, but they went on, they printed more money than they had things to back it up or gold, then that money has no value. If a little island, say like St. Croix, printed lots of money and just came to the United States to try to buy things, they ran their printing presses night and day, the money is not back. That's why it doesn't have anything. Your whole banking system is utterly corrupt. Your lending institutions have loused up the system, but there's nobody out there telling you what's wrong with it. So it looks okay to you. I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't work for anyone. No one can discharge me. I have no boss. The only thing that can happen to me is I can be put in prison. Well, there are many books to write. In other words, there are many things to be done. I am not afraid. I am afraid to live in the society we live in today. The direction we're moving in gives us 25 years to a total environmental destruction. We have 7 years to mass starvation. We don't have much time.
The value of a nation, dollar value, America's value, the value of the dollar is not based on gold reserve. The value of the dollar is based on faith in this country, right? And its output, isn't it? That's the truth.
You can't build a nation on faith. It has to be backed up by resources.
I mean, but if the French respect the dollar, it's backed by respect for American resources.
Respect, it only means that it serves France in some useful way. A nation's interest in any other nation is always self-interest. When we send representatives to any other country, our self-interest is first. Whatever happens to that nation is secondary. We have nothing but utter materialism which dominates our society today.
You're talking about all countries.
Yes, all countries.
The science is socio-cyberneering. The man behind it is Dr. Jacque Fresco. I'm Larry King.
Yeah, man.
The only thing he was that he was off about was the time about the suffering, but even he's not wrong about that because there's a lot of suffering going on.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he was off with the mass starvation and stuff, but I think it's only because
they used a part of his idea.
Well, you can't predict that stuff, really.
Yeah.
You know, they said the world's going to end. It's going to hit by comets. This is hard to predict. World War III should have happened 50 times already. You know, we are getting close. Well, I think there is some small sanity in man that stops us bombing each other. There's a little bit where someone thinks, okay, maybe not today. Maybe not today. I don't know what would happen if one idiot decides to push the button by accident, because that could we're just waiting for one guy to trigger it, one guy to make the mistake and press the button. Oh, it slipped. Oh yeah, well, that's say goodbye to, I don't know, Italy or whatever. Then we're gonna see. Then we're gonna be like, okay, now it's game over. Yeah, that was Jacque Fresco, man. The guy's a legend. Do you think we should watch this about
Nope, I think we should cut it here. Honestly, if we want to do another episode on this guy, we should. But I think I think we've been going for an hour and 13 minutes. I know you still want to do your South of Midnight, get a little bit of that. And I mean, all I'm gonna say is, man, this guy's amazing. And dude,
check him out,
please. Open your mind, people. Open your mind, man. Stop being greedy. Stop we have to start somewhere, man. It starts with you. With that said, and the one thing I will say before I get off is I love how intelligent this guy, how scientific he is, and he is so much a man of God. I love him. Many blessings to everyone. That's all I can say. He said everything that we need to hear. I don't know what to say.
All right, we're gonna leave you with our theme track again. It's the outro. So have fun. Wait, Dad, this is not the theme track. Where the hell's the theme track?
It's there on the other side. That's it right there.
You can see it. I can't see it. That's not. Where's that theme track? I wanted to. Huh? Oh, wait, let me remove this first. Let me add this one. Aha.
Start it from the beginning. Don't let them hear the
sounds good. Have fun, and we'll see you on the next one.
Many blessings, y'all.
It's exquisite entertainment, damn. It's exquisite entertainment, fam. It's exquisite. It's exquisite. And we ain't gonna stop till we reach the top. Gonna give it all we got, cause we know it's hot. People bored and they want some entertaining. We got podcast, music, and gaming. And best believe we got more down the pipeline. Times are hard, but I know that we will be fine. Top G's, always ready to shine. So bright that we make the haters blind. It's exquisite entertainment, man. It's exquisite entertainment, damn. It's exquisite entertainment, bam. It's exquisite. It's exquisite. We got that winner mentality. Making our dreams, our dreams.